The piece is for bass clarinet and cello, and it's a little piece that was written for the Beckett Centenary Festival a couple of years ago, and was written at that point for Concord, who had commissioned it. And basically, it's very, very quiet piece, very spacious, very stilled, and was written in the general sense in response to, I suppose, my experience of Beckett's plays primarily, but focused on one of his French poems. He wrote a lot of French poems which he translated into English, and I think this one would have been from about the late 40s and had a line in it, "My way is in the sand flowing between the shingle and the dune," and goes on to say about my pieces in the receding mist, and just that, the imagery in that, that's where the between comes from, the sort of between the shingle and the dune, and the idea of being between things is very Beckett, I think, sort of almost a sense of being, I always think in Beckett's plays you sort of feel like you're being almost suspended somewhere between reality, and his attempt to describe beyond that and that experience of sort of being suspended. So the piece kind of tries to enter that little bubble, I think, of the way that I experience Beckett, and also the pared downness of his materials and the cleanliness of the materials. There's no excess. He's wonderful at sort of focusing on little areas and keeping with them, almost using them mantra-like. So there's some of the materials are quite mantra-like in the way that they kind of don't let go of keeping to the sort of same thing, and just defining a small area and keeping to it, and being almost becoming comfortable with things that are almost stay around so long they're almost uncomfortable. So yeah, I suppose just trying to sort of enter what I feel Beckett's world is, or my experience of Beckett's world, and using that in a musical, or entering it in a musical way, or creating a musical landscape from it. Indeed, I mean, I was coming across into the Isle of Maxima here and could hear Carol just warming up with the beginning of the piece, which I think actually is my favourite experience of the thing I like best when you're actually experiencing, because if you're in rehearsal, you've got lots of things start going, and when you're in a performance, you're worrying about how the audience is responding, and so actually this is always my favourite bit, when you accidentally hear the piece and you're not actually in the room yet, and it was incredibly in tune and beautiful. Carol's got a really beautiful tone. It's really quite difficult, some of the aspects of the bass clarinet writing. She starts in quite a high register, and she doesn't have it sounding remotely strained. It's so beautiful. It sounds like it's easy, the way that she's kind of really nailed the colour. And I think just for the way that the two of them were rehearsing this morning, it was really useful to actually just even chat very casually about, a lot of it is like breath. The piece is quite like a breathing, just really gentle breathing, because I think breathing and the sea are the same thing, you know, the sort of tide coming in and out, and the shingle and dune. And I wrote the piece mostly at the sea, just kind of walking for hours, and kind of cleared a lot of the materials in my head. So that kind of, the real gentleness of the very, very edge of the lapping water, just the really tiny waves at the end, and just even chatting about it, it's suddenly, even just when we chatted, even second go at the piece, I thought, my God, they're really, it's changed, it's moved, and so really useful to have rehearsed for all of us actually, because I think, you know, even the way it's laid out metrically, it looks like it's very precise, but actually it's more longs and shorts and swells, and, you know, reducing and extending, and just to even chat those things through with the performance is always really helpful for everybody. So it gives them permission to be more free with it, I think.